Something crazy is that we've generated over 1 million organic leads from social media with our clients in the last 2 years. And if you're a business owner, you've probably experienced that organic leads convert at higher rates, they pay more money, they stay for longer, they refer more people, and there's less marketing costs, which therefore creates higher profit margins for you. All this to say, organic leads are more valuable. And this training breaks down how you can turn your organic socials into a lead machine, generating hundreds, thousands, and potentially tens of thousands of organic leads per month. I broke it down step by step from this virtual presentation at Creator Cashflow Conference 2 to multiple 7- and 8-figure business owners, and I hope you enjoy. Presentation today is going to be about how we've generated 1 million plus organic leads in 2 years with clients, and more importantly, how you can do it too. So I assume everyone in here is business owners, and the reason that we want to grow and scale a personal brand is because we want to make more money and grow our business as a result. We are not in the business of vanity metrics and getting views and followers for views and followers' sake. We're in the business of gaining views and followers that translates into leads and sales, therefore more revenue and profit for you. There's also a huge bonus tip at the end of this presentation on how to 15x multiply every video you create, posting 420 plus top quality pieces of content with less than 2 hours per month of filming, with every single post generating organic lead flow for your business. I promise you, this is not a pitch. This is all fully information based, and this is exactly step by step what we do and the actions that we take in our business. Also, this works for literally any business. What we look for is just people who are successful at what they do, right? They have a proven offer, whether that's products or services. It doesn't matter if you are a personal brand, a service, e-com brand, software, a local business, whatever the case, all of this can work for you. And we've done this across more than 34 industries for 7, 8, 9, and even 10-figure brands, many different types of niches. So if you're wondering, who the heck are you? My name is Logan Forsyth. I am founder and co-CEO of Media Scaling. Been on multiple podcasts talking about what we do and spoken on multiple stages and mastermind events similar to today. And we have, as mentioned, in the last 2 years, gained over 5 billion views, 24 million followers, and 1 million leads for our clients. We've been recognized in over 14 publications as the #1 leading social media growth firm today. We have numerous national and global social media awards that we've won. We're currently generating over 500 million views per month for our clients with these strategies that I'm about to be lining out for you. We've grown to a team of over 100 social media experts in the last 2 years, and we're working with brands who are collectively generating 2 billion plus in annual online sales. And again, that's across more than 34 industries. Put us in a pretty cool spot to where we're able to learn from a lot of different businesses in many different industries what works best for them. And through that process, we've been able to spot patterns that are more the foundation principles of what truly works. And so we're going to be breaking that down today too. So the question, why organic leads? I assume a lot of the room already knows this, but in case that you don't, when you have organic lead flow, they have higher KLT. That stands for know, like, and trust. They're fans rather than skeptics. That's why when you're on the phone with someone, if they come through your organic social, it's always going to be a way smoother conversation. You feel like you're almost talking to a friend versus a skeptic and someone who's there, but kind of reluctantly, and they know you're going to sell them something and they're just very skeptical. Because of this, the conversion rate is higher. They spend more money with you. They stay for longer. They get better results. They refer more people. You get more word of mouth business, and there's much less marketing spend, therefore higher profit, right? Versus if you're doing any paid ad, medium, whatever the case, you have all that marketing spend that just eats into your profit margins before they become a customer for you. So the goal of today is to give you the step-by-step game plan to, again, turn your socials into a lead machine while filming less than 2 hours per month. And step one of that is to create great content, right? I want to teach you how to fish versus just give you the fish. So I have this broken down into really 6 sub-pillars. Number 1 is partner with AI, right? And so what you want to do is create an AI company brain. Us in here may have done this to a degree. We take it to a very far degree with each of the brands and clients that we work with, and doing this internally as well. And so what this looks like is go ahead and just add ChatGPT to the top of your org chart, or any LLM. If you're a Grok person, or Claude is awesome as well. They're all kind of the same. And the quality of results depends on the quality of context that you give AI. So what we want to do is upload everything about your brand and business into ChatGPT. You want to upload your website, your funnels, videos, transcripts, marketing materials, and you really want to go deep into this. Like, it doesn't need to be every, but the more the better. The more emails that you've written, if you have a blog, like, feed it all that information. Your videos, like, take those and turn them into transcripts and put those inside of ChatGPT. Information on your customers and your clients, your business itself. what's your revenue, what's your profit, just anything and everything. And on top of just your website, like put in the copy itself. So ChatGPT or whatever AI you use for this truly understands your business. And then you can also brain dump on voice notes. I'm always talking to ChatGPT. It's a lot faster. Just telling it everything about your business. You can go on for 10, 15 minutes and just kind of ramble in and brain dump into it. And then once you do this, ask it what other questions you should answer to give it more clarity on your business. Like ask it what is missing so it gets even more of that. Again, the reason that we're doing all this is because when you get there, the goal is for ChatGPT to know your business as well as you do, if not better. And so all the recommendations that it gives you moving forward, it is fully aligned and tailored to your brand, your voice, your customers, everything. ChatGPT, all these LLM tools have a memory now. And so this is a one-time thing. Obviously, you're going to continue to feed it more information over time as you pivot and your business evolves. But this is a bigger bulk upfront setup. And then you're good to go from here on out. And you have basically another high-level executive. And you can also create projects if you're not familiar to stay organized. These are kind of like folders. So you can name different projects after different departments just to keep things, flowing smooth. Once you've done that, the next step is you want to identify your super consumer. An ideal client profile, ICP, is something that probably all of us have heard of. And what that is a hypothetical keyword avatar. A super consumer is your actual, that's the keyword, actual top customers who represent a disproportionately high percentage of revenue or profit and are highly engaged. When you're launching a new offer or a new business, you don't have a lot of actual customers. And so you have to put together this hypothetical avatar. And a lot of the time that doesn't end up being exactly who your super consumer is. So if you are a business and now you do have clients and customers, look at those top customers. And that is truly your super consumer. Like that should be your new ICP who you are creating content for, and all of your marketing and your entire business is designed around. So I kind of went forward and already spoke on why I do this. But when you speak to a specific person in your content, the platforms serve your content organically to that specific person. There's going to be more reason behind why that actually happens in the presentation. But the algorithms across all platforms are smart enough to where when you optimize your accounts for search and you're speaking to a specific person in your content, it's bridging that gap together. And organic content has never been more like ads than it is today because of that. And we're going to break down why. And then we also, to have this even easier for you, the super consumer AI prompt that you can use inside of ChatGPT. Again, I'm going to go through all this pretty quick, but essentially you just come in here, copy and paste this prompt over, and it's pretty incredible what it will give you at the snap of a finger. Again, you've already created your AI company brain and you fed it all the information. That way it's going to give you a much more detailed and informed super consumer. So again, you can always get the slides after this with the QR code and then use these prompts. I'm going to give you multiple throughout the presentation to put that together. Now that we have your AI company brain and your super consumer, next is we want to develop your brand identity. This is a step that a lot of people skip over when they're getting started with creating content and truly building a brand. And what this does is that allows you to define your brand's voice, tone, values, positioning, and differentiators, and just create brand alignment. This becomes the Bible of your brand and all the content you create on your socials. As you start to really build a team around your socials and brand, this becomes their Bible as well. Everyone's studying this, they're on top of it, they're aware. And then we have this brand identity template right here that everyone can get free access to. What is your brand name? What's the purpose, the impact? What's the pressing problem that you solve? 3 to 5 adjectives you use to describe your brand. What does it stand for? Who's your ideal customer, which we just discussed, biggest frustrations, so on and so forth. And it goes into a lot of detail in here. So make sure to get access to that. And then once you have this, you can upload the brand identity template into ChatGPT with this following prompt, right? And basically you just use this prompt, you would copy this entire brand identity worksheet, and ChatGPT is going to do the work for you. Before ChatGPT was around and we were doing this takes a lot of work and a lot of thought. And depending on how deep you want to go, it could take hours. And ChatGPT does it pretty much immediately now. It's a massive, massive value add. Next is we want to create your content strategy now that we have really developed your brand identity and your super consumer. And so again, to make this simple, we are including an AI prompt for you that will basically develop your entire content strategy. So the AI prompt is here. For time purposes, we won't go into too much detail, but essentially it's telling AI that you're the world's top social media and branding expert, and then breaking down a detailed prompt to give you your overall content strategy with multiple different types of topics and fillers. You want to have variation to your content, you don't want every video to feel the exact same or be about the exact same thing, because there's going to be fatigue that's created. And so you want to identify many different topics that are all relatable and valuable to your super consumer. And so you're still attracting the person you want to attract, but not hitting that level of fatigue. And this prompt is going to help you do that. And then once we have your content strategy lined up, it's going to give you different pillars of topics and types of content. Next is what we want to do is use hypnotizing hooks. And again, we have AI prompts that you can use for this to just make it much faster and more efficient. AI, the ChatGPT, whatever, is going to give you all those different pillars. And inside of that same chat, you're going to use this prompt telling it to give you as many as you want, 20 plus, 10 plus hypnotizing video hooks, word for word per topic that speaks to and attracts to your super consumer, right? We're taking away a lot of the thought and the guesswork here. And then last but not least, you want to validate with proven data. AI is not gospel. It's not there yet. Maybe it is in a couple more years. And so you want to validate with proven data and intuition as well. You also want to spend time yourself to become an expert in whatever space that you're in. And so how you do that is you find and study what's working best on social media. Use social media as a university rather than just consuming. And the top 3 tools for this, I've tried everything, and our team has tried everything out there. These tools are the only ones that you need. TikTok search, completely free. Viewstats.com. This is Mr. Beast's tool for YouTube. And you do need the pro version. I'll break down why. And last is SortFeed, which is a Google Chrome plugin. TikTok and YouTube are the 2 top short form video search engine platforms. Instagram search is shit. Facebook search is shit, but TikTok and YouTube are very, very good at, you put in keywords and it's going to show you short form video content that is directly related to those keywords. And I'll go as far as to say TikTok is definitely the top short form video search platform over YouTube. YouTube is obviously better for long form. So TikTok search is free. As mentioned, viewstats.com, the pro version I believe is like $30 a month. And why you want to do that is because it'll give you a tool in there called outliers. And you can go to the outlier section and search for short form or long form videos for any keyword. And the outlier score, it could be like a 10x. And what a 10x outlier score means is that that specific video performed 10 times better than the average video on that channel. And those are what you want to pay attention to, because the audience size for that higher performing video didn't matter. What mattered was the content piece itself. And that's what we want to study, is those outlier content. So as mentioned, search any keywords and video types on these tools. It's going to show you the top performing content for different keyword searches. So if you're a sales coach, a sales trainer, you can go to TikTok search and just type in sales advice, and it's going to show you a lot of top performing content. And then do sales mistakes, sales tips, sales X, Y, and Z. You can use ChatGPT and it can give you 100 different variations for keyword searches in your industry. So it continues to show you fresh, top performing content. You can use this sheet to organize and analyze the content. What you want to do is schedule 3-4 hours in your calendar, grab a cup of coffee and zone it, like deep work, turn off your notifications, and just really start to get in here and study. This sheet is a good way to organize and follow that process. So you put in the search term here, the video link, the engagement that you're seeing, the outlier score if you're using ViewStats. Pay attention to the caption. What you want to do is really analyze the hook, extremely important. And when you do this, you're going to start to see multiple frameworks and types of hooks that come up over and over and over. And that's something that you want to start using for yourself as well, right? Because there's a lot of proof of concept with it. And then you can come in here and add any additional notes. And on top of just paying attention to these factors, you also want to study the type of content itself. Is it a podcast clip? Is it a talking head direct to camera? Are they speaking on stage? Is it a selfie style video just on your phone? And you're going to start to see patterns there too, and use that to replicate your own content strategy. The last step is you can create, if you want to really go in depth into this, you can create 3 different tiers for it. Tier 1 is huge outlier content. So that's going to be 10 times the performance of the average post on an account. Tier 2 is semi outlier content. So that's something that maybe it performed 2 to 5 times as good as the average video. And then tier 3 is low performing content. And this is what a lot of people don't pay attention to, and you should, because when you look at tier 1 and tier 3 content, you can compare both of them to learn the difference. What about that tier 3 video made it tank? And then what in that tier 1 video is different versus if you only study tier 1 content and you don't have that side-by-side comparison, it's easy to miss mistakes that you can still add when you're trying to model that tier 1 content. And then I do have a much more in-depth video training on this on my YouTube channel here for anyone who wants to check it out. It goes into this entire process and really just what we do step by step for clients on it. Bonus tips here is upload all the tier 1 content into AI, and you can use that to analyze and identify the common patterns, right? You can like take the transcripts of the videos if you want to really get in depth, and then upload 10, 20, 50 videos. And it's going to give you a very, very detailed analysis of the patterns, the frameworks, the hooks, the topics, the types of video. And it's going to basically give you a report that would take a person a long time to put together. And this will also train the AI model to their content for coming up with your own content strategy. It's just going to make it better. Again, AI has a memory. And so you do this once, and now all of its recommendations moving forward is going to give you better, more tailored content for your brand. And it can also write you scripts. When you do this like really in depth and you feed it a lot of information, AI can start to become a good script writing tool for you. Again, nothing's 100%. You need to go in and validate and add your own twist to it, and a lot of time continue to give feedback to AI if it's putting together scripts that aren't fully satisfactory to you. That way it just gets better and better. Bonus number 2, this is a huge one that I really don't see anyone apply or talk about, is you can find top performing content types and strategies in other industries that have not been applied to your own. And when you are a first mover of applying winning content types from other spaces to your own, it gives you a massive advantage, because many times what works somewhere else will work in your industry as well. And this doesn't even just apply to content. This can apply to business in general. Step number 2, value-based CTAs. The promise at the start of this video is that you want to turn your socials into an organic lead machine. And you can't do that without incorporating calls to action throughout a lot of your content. And this is a huge mistake that I see so many brands make. Most brands and creators, they are afraid of hard selling or overselling to their audience, because if you do it wrong, which almost everyone does, then it does absolutely decrease your engagement rate, decrease your performance. People get turned off by it because you're just pitching, promoting all the time. But there is a way that you can do this to where you can incorporate CTAs in literally every video you create, if you, depending on how you take it and what content strategy you decide to put together, while seeing even higher levels of organic performance, even higher levels of engagement, more brand sentiment building, because you're doing it in a value-based way. And so that's what we're going to break down now. If you do everything else that we talked about and you're not incorporating value-based CTAs, you're going to make so much less money than you otherwise would if you do this step. There's the common adage in relationships of like, if you get in a fight with your relationship and the other partner isn't telling you what's wrong with them, and they just assume that you should know, but you don't know because you weren't told. Same thing is, people do not take action unless they're told to take action. And so if you're not including calls to action in your content, people are much less likely to take those actions as a result. And CTAs are what creates leads for you that leads to revenue and sales and profit. And so we need to really hone in on this. So value-based CPAs, what you have to do with organic content is you have to earn the right to include CTAs in that content. And your videos must be value-packed and not just promotional. A very common mistake that I see people make with this, they kind of misconstrue and they're like, oh yeah, I like did a value-based thing, and they just post organic content that's literally like an ad, and it's just a straight promotion, and it's talking about their service. That's basically a pitch, and you want to avoid that. And I'm going to give examples of what this actually looks like and what I mean by that. The goal is every video should give tactical value that makes people want to share or save the video. And so examples of what that could look like are tips, hacks, secrets, common mistakes, and problems with the solutions. What's very important is you don't want to just point out common mistakes without a solution. People get mad about that. You want to include both. Perspective shift on common or relatable beliefs is very valuable. If you can change someone's perspective on something, that is extremely valuable. Tools, softwares, AI prompts, products, a lot of the time, like products can be very valuable. This can work really well with e-com. You see this with TikTok Shop content everywhere, where people are following problem, agitate, solution framework in their videos. They're talking about a problem and the product is that solution. And then when you do this, again, have tactical value that makes people want to share or save the video, and they feel like they can actually implement right away after watching the video, then you've earned the right to include benefit-driven CTAs at the end of that content. And so what should the CTA be? It should be whatever converts best for your business. Everyone's got different methods of converting, but it needs to be whatever converts best. And then you can test and experiment experiment with this as well. So whether that's a lead magnet, VSL, webinar, promotions that you have, a discount code, tripwire offer, contact form, call or text your business. Like, conversations is money when you're in a business. So calling and texting and just putting that up front is an easy way to remove friction and get more conversations happening. But that's what you want to do. Types of CTAs. Now on Instagram and Facebook specifically, what I recommend is to use DM automations, because this typically always outconverts saying click the link in bio or including a link. Basically every test I've ever run on this, DM automations outconvert. ManyChat.com is the leading tool to do this. It's extremely simple to set up DM automations inside of ManyChat. And then what this looks like, we've all seen it on socials if we use social media, which I assume that we do, is people will create a post and they say, comment this keyword below and I'll send you this thing, or DM me this keyword and I'll send it over. When you see that on Instagram and Facebook, they're using ManyChat. For a bonus tip, if you have someone, whether it's yourself, if you're scrappy and you don't have a team yet, or you have a salesperson on your team, ManyChat automations start a lot of conversations in the DMs, and then you can have a salesperson or a chat setter or a chat closer go in and continue the conversation, book more calls, and just create more sales opportunities with that manual conversation component that otherwise weren't happening. And we see a lot of success doing that. For TikTok, you also want to use DM automations. They have a native tool for business accounts specifically. I included a link to their article that just breaks down the tool and what this is, but you can set up automatic messages. Again, it's literally by TikTok inside of their platform if you set up your account as a business account, which everyone should. And then you can have it trigger based on specific keywords that you set up there. TikTok, by the way, is the most strict platform, and we see very clear results. If we try and do any CTA that drives people off platform on TikTok, it's flagging that content immediately. I did some experimenting recently. My TikTok account went from thousands of views per video to literally like 4 views a video immediately overnight, because we were trying to do some promotions and like testing around with different CTAs in the content. When you do a DM automation, the CTA basically says the same thing as this. Instead of saying comment the keyword below, you say DM me this keyword and I'll send it over to you. That way it keeps them in platform. So with YouTube and LinkedIn, the CTA strategy you want to do here is inside of the video, inside of the content, say follow what you see on screen. And then when you say that, you want your editor, or if you're doing your edits yourself, you should have an editor. They're easy and cheap to outsource, to show a tracking link, a URL on screen that they can go to. This is our kind of workaround of avoiding saying, go to this link, click the link in my channel description, click the link in my bio. There's not fact, but there's a lot of hypothesis. And we absolutely have the data to where we've seen on our side, all the platforms make money by people staying on their platform. And so they'll never say this, but we have data and we've seen that when you have CTAs that are trying to drive people off platform, like click the link in my bio, click the link here, they will restrict your content because they don't want people going to a link off of their platform. And so you have to kind of be sneaky to get around that. The link should be clean and easy. Use a URL redirect. Don't have, like, if it's a long link, people are not going to be able to see it and then go search it. It needs to be clean and simple. And as a bonus, include tracking with UTMs or Hyros or whatever tool that you have set up. And again, you can have UTMs on a link by using a URL redirect. So it could be something as easy as mediascaling.com/scale is a link that we use. And then when people actually go to that link, it redirects to a link that has multiple UTMs on it to track the source of where they're coming from. Do not use a link shortener like Bitly. This is just associated with scam at this point. Platforms, emails, everything like penalizes Bitly links if they're not branded to you. As a bonus, this is a huge one. You have the systems and the team, is your CTA can be text or call this number. Again, conversations lead to conversions. Conversations are what's valuable and create opportunities for you and your business. And the more conversations you're having with leads, customers, the more money you're making. And the most frictionless way to have conversations is literally just to give people a number to text or call. A lot of people, if you only do a call number, you're missing a lot of opportunity because a lot of people do not want to call, but they are willing to text. So I like giving the option for both. Or something that we've seen work really well is you can do similar to the keyword calls to action up here. You can say text XYZ to this number. So text this keyword, text the word scale to this number to receive this thing that is all benefit driven and it relates to your business. And you can still use tools like Go High Level to automate this. And a keyword comes in, if that keyword matches, then it automatically triggers a response that goes out to them, very similar to DM automations. And this can, again, start a lot of conversations. And now you're getting phone numbers to where you can text them and your team can call them and you can get them on the phone. And that's money. Step 3, honestly, I think that this is the biggest opportunity, like in any type of getting attention available today. This is massive. Nobody's doing it. Nobody talks about it because people don't have the knowledge and the systems for this. This is how you can win and how you can turn every one video you create into 15 and 15x. So what does that look like? I want to give everyone an explanation of why this works. I alluded to a little bit of this earlier. Every platform is now a For You page rather than a following feed. We are constantly served content based on our interests and demographics rather than who we follow. It doesn't matter if we follow an account or not. We still see content across every platform from tons of accounts who we don't follow. And this applies most to short form video specifically. Like if you go on Instagram and you post pictures and you look at the insights, 90% plus of that reach goes to your existing following only. When you post short form video and you go to the insights, almost always 50% plus or more of that reach goes to non-followers. And again, that's for short form video, that's not for pictures. This applies across every platform. Short form video is what's getting pushed the most to new discovery for people who are interest targeted and demographic targeted. And that means every short form video post literally guarantees hundreds, thousands, or millions of non-follower views, depending on how well it performs. And those views are free because they're organic. You're not paying for those views. The only cost is creating the content. Organic content has never been more like ads than it is today because of this. Like the platforms have trillions of data points they use for advertising. That's how they make most of their money and have become many of the biggest companies in the world. And they use that same advertising data for serving interest-based and demographic-based content. So organic content has never been more like ads than it is today. The more short-form content you post, the more you will grow with free reach to your target audience because of everything that I just broke down. This is truly the biggest attention arbitrage opportunity. And I've looked and studied them all, and we've connected with countless brands at this point. Doing this, we're consistently getting reach at 1/10 to 1/25 the cost of ads, which is why I'm using the word arbitrage. It's a massive arbitrage opportunity. So an example of that is the same reach of spending $50,000 in ads can happen for $2,500 in organic is a very common comparison that we're seeing. And all the organic content, when you follow what I broke down, can still include CTAs, which drives lead flow and conversions, where it becomes more of an apple to apple comparison because ads are all pitching something. They're promoting, they're driving people somewhere. So a lot of people are like, yeah, but organic content doesn't do that. It does when you follow what I'm breaking down and showing to you. Organic leads are better than paid leads that we talked about. And the social media game today, for the people who are going to win, has become quality and distribution. And so what does that mean? What does the distribution aspect look like? Because we've talked on quality. The requirement is that you have to post short form content on every platform. So that's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn at the minimum. If your customer base is on Snapchat, then you can include Snapchat as well. X has video content, but we don't see video content alone really move the needle on X, but you can still post it there too. These are the 5 platforms that we see be the most meaningful with short form content for businesses. One video now equals 5 posts because that one video is posted across 5 platforms. And that's a 5x multiple. So, but we still got more to get to the 15. The biggest social media growth strategy today of how you get to this 15x multiple is by split testing hooks with sub accounts. When you record video content, record 3 hooks for every video. And the hook alone can be the difference of a video getting 5 million views or 5,000 views with nothing else changed besides the hook. And when you do this too, just changing the hook makes that content unique in the eyes of the algorithm, because what does not work is just reposting content. If you try and repost content across multiple accounts, we've tested, we've tried it, it doesn't work. They'll get flagged. It's not community guidelines. This is all fully compliant, what I'm breaking down for you. There's no risk to doing this. And what it allows you to do is be more data driven and post way more content than any of your competitors and anyone else. And when you have one video with 3 hooks, that now becomes 3 videos with literally no extra effort. And on top of one main account, what you want to do is create at least 2 more sub accounts per platform. That's minimum 3 accounts per platform. Across 5 platforms, you now have 15 accounts. You cannot split test hooks with one main account, but you can do it with sub accounts. If you have one account on Instagram, you're not going to post 3 videos back to back that are the same video with 3 different hooks, because a portion of your audience is going to get exposed to that same content. It's not going to be a good look. It's going to drop engagement. It's going to hurt that account. But you can do this with sub accounts. And this is what I'm telling you that nobody is doing. And it's a massive arbitrage opportunity. And so when you have one video with 3 hooks, that now becomes 3 videos. And you post those 3 videos across 5 platforms, that's 15 posts per day. And that gets you to your 15x leverage multiple for every video you create. Anytime you can 15x anything, it's a huge value add. And then you do 15 posts per day over 30 days, that's 450 posts a month. So few brands and creators are doing 450 posts a month. So few. So if you're one of the few who does this, you are automatically putting yourself in much better position to win on social media. And 30 video scripts per month takes less than 2 hours to film. I've done it multiple times. We have a lot of clients who do it. If you script out the videos, you can knock it out. And it's usually an hour to an hour and a half. The faster is based on being more experienced with it, and then also how long your scripts are. This is how you can turn 2 hours of filming into 450 posts per month. It's crazy. Nobody does this. It's something that has not been available until recently, and it's the biggest arbitrage that I see today. And I want to give you some sample scripts. A lot of us in here are like more national-based businesses or personal brands, masterminds, coaching, whatever. But I wanted to give an example of a local HVAC company to show you that this can literally work for any business. Like the coaching stuff and whatever, like that's a given. But you can make this work for any business. So I'll pull up some these sample scripts that we put together for someone who we just connected with recently. Again, these scripts are very value driven. It's going to include information that people feel like that they can apply and implement right away. And it includes 3 different hook variations. So this is what we're doing and how we're putting it together. You see hook option number 1, hook option number 2, hook option number 3. So when I'm filming the content, I'm literally just reading these hooks back to back to back. And then our editors are splicing them up into 3 different videos. One, as a local business, when you call out your local market, it's going to attract the people you want to attract. And you are going to take over social SEO as well. Because social platforms now do have SEO. People will search for businesses on social media in their area. And if you're one of the few local businesses who do this, you are going to own your search. Like what we talked about earlier, majority of the reach goes to non-followers targeted based on interest and demographics. So when you're speaking to Northwest Arkansas, the platform is smart enough to serve your content to people in Northwest Arkansas as a result as well. It's like advertising. And then you can see in the content itself, to just go through quickly, it's value driven. Here's the simple fix: set a phone reminder, pull out your filter, hold it up, replace it once a month. This is going to save you money on your AC. Another video script right here: Arkansas heat pump secret. With extreme temperature ranges, most homeowners set it on auto, and this time of year you set it on, it's going to save you money. Like, this is what I'm talking about, of true value to people who watch this content that they can implement right away. This is not just a pitch. This is not just a promotion for Anderson Air or for an HVAC company. It's value, regardless of if people work with the company or not. And what that does is it gives them the right to include a CTA at the end of the video. And this is where they have the system set up. We can just do a call and text number. And so we just want to feed and push the number. These samples are included in the slides here. Brands who do this win. Like, this is the strategy of 2025. And that is my presentation today. Do it quick. I also included the QR code here throughout the entire slide presentation. That QR code is going to give you a copy of all of these slides. So feel free to scan that at any time, and you can get the copy here as we're going through pretty quick.